Today we've been putting in fence line out here at the new property. Hello.
Hello.
Are you guys originally from Nevada?
No.
What brought you to northern Nevada?
I was born in Berkeley, actually,
Okay.
and raised and lived in California, worked there all my life. Susan?
I was born in Wisconsin and lived in the Midwest until I went to college in California.
Okay.
So, we finished our work in medical areas in California and retired to Nevada. I spent a long time in Sacramento, and I had relatives at Tahoe, and we would come to Reno to play and that sort of thing. So I feel very at home in Nevada.
Were you aware of the wild horses that live here in Nevada before you moved here?
No.
What got you interested in wild horses?
Oh, well, we had a home in southern Reno, and the wild horses were coming in to our neighborhood every day and eating the lawn and everything else, and we were putting out water for them. And then we heard that the state started picking them up.
Okay. So what got you interested in did you hear of somebody in particular that was rescuing? What got you interested in the rescue aspect of it?
I kind of, by happenstance, were out rounding up and moving horses as needed and meeting people on the way and hearing about Shannon and hearing about this group and that group, and and we just started to get assimilated into the horse welfare and horse rescue movement. And about that time, the state was picking up horses and shipping them off to Fallon and being bought by kill buyers. And this was offensive. We got to know these tribes and herds in a very personal way. And the mares would deliver a foal, and then we'd see the foal grow up, and it was a family. It was personal.
All right, so how did you make the decision to purchase a piece of property?
It's like how we got involved with the horses. Things came together at a time when a desirable piece of property came up, and we were able to have the funds available at that moment to do it. And so it was mostly, again, kind of a happenstance where the different pieces came together. It had been on our mind for a long time because there are other horse sanctuaries that are in existence, but the need is much larger than what the services available are. So we made the decision to go ahead and do this.
So what kind of projects are happening right now or in the near future here on the property?
Right now we're trying to put in some fencing. We've doing the fencing along the road, and we're about 90% complete on that aspect of it. And then we'll start fencing up on some of the hillsides and all the way around eventually.
What really complicated the matter is about 3 weeks after we took ownership, a fire came through, and we had a general plan on how to use the property that had to be modified because we have to protect the burn areas from the horses to allow it to regenerate and rehabilitate. So our original plan kind of got modified dramatically. But there's a lot of fence that has to be put up. That's a real challenge for us at this point.
So where we are right now, is this more or less the front edge of the property?
The southern edge. This is the edge that's on the road that comes in.
Okay. All right. And then behind you, obviously, is more of the property?
Yes.
And if you could tell us, I already know the answer to this, but how many horses this is going to help and where those horses are coming from?
Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund has about 150 horses, plus or minus, and they're sort of distributed around the neighborhood, a little bit helter-skelter right now. We're going to have almost all of those horses, or all of them, right here. So approximately 150 horses will come on here.
Great. And what are your what's your ideal outcome? Where do you see this property, this project headed in the future?
We are giving respite to these 150 wild Virginia range horses and allowing them to live out their life as horses free, relatively free, in a protected area where there's going to be ample food and water and protection from encroachment by people.
And, I believe some of those horses are adoptable, and people will be able to come out and actually see them if they're interested
Yes.
in adopting.
Absolutely, and
Appointments for
they can
that.
come to our place in South Reno, because that's what we do, is we train and get them what's called green broke, which means they can be loaded into a trailer, have their feet done, they're up to date on shots and that sort of thing. They're halter trained, they can be led. And then to some degree, depending on the particular horse, we'll get them saddle trained and they're ready for an intermediate rider. I wouldn't suggest a novice rider like myself getting on a wild Mustang. But I've seen many of these horses that are ridden by people who are very experienced or moderately experienced, and they make great saddle horses.
What do you want people to know about the work that's going on here?
Help me out with that. There's so much work that has to be done that, you know, I'd like people to know that we're having fun doing it. You know, it's a labor of love, even though we get kind of sweaty and dirty like I am right now. But you're surrounded by good people and clean air, and it's a pretty place, and we're having a good time doing this.
And how can people help this project along?
By thinking of, if you support animal welfare, and horses in particular, think about us. And if you support these things financially, then think about us in that way too. Also, we would love to have more volunteers, people who just have a few hours a week or a month that can come out and help with the fencing or just hanging out with the horses. It's quite good for them to be around people. And the ones that we're working to train, particularly, we want them to have as many different kind of human experiences as we can provide them. It makes them more comfortable and better horses as pets. But I would like to encourage anyone who just has a few hours or wants to try something new even. You get some good exercise. You really do.
None of us were pros at doing fencing.
No.
Are now.
No, we're
We're good.
sort of figuring it out as we go.